Ukrainian and US officials say they're ready to conclude an agreement providing Washington with access to Ukrainian mineral deposits. Ukraine's sitting on untapped reserves of rare earths, titanium and other materials vital to manufacturing, especially the tech sector. Kyiv hopes the deal will ensure continuing American support in its fight against Russia's invasion. Now, the deal had been due to be signed in February, but then wasn't after the country's leaders clashed at the White House.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business.
Although the main part of the arrangement has been agreed, both sides say there are still hurdles. US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said during a cabinet meeting that it was for Ukraine to bridge the final gaps.
Yeah, our side's ready to sign. Ukrainians decided last night to make some last-minute changes. We're sure that they will reconsider that, and we are ready to sign this afternoon if they are.
Can you talk about those last-minute changes, what was removed or put in its place?
Nothing's been removed. It's the same agreement that we agreed to on the weekend. No changes on our side.
All right, let's go to our correspondent Janelle Dumalaon in Washington. Welcome, Janelle. What do we think? How likely is this deal to be signed today?
Phil, the fact that the economy minister of Ukraine is here should be an indicator of confidence that this deal will be signed. The fact that Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said that the U.S. was prepared to sign the deal should also be an indicator of confidence that this deal will be signed. However, there seem to be in the background some issues that are cropping up that could potentially derail the signing of the deal. Now, you played that clip of Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent saying that the Ukrainians wanted last-minute changes to the agreement, but no changes were made. Now, those sticking points appear to be around the governance of this joint investment fund that this deal is meant to set up. There are also concerns around transparency and around traceability of the funds. There is also some reporting that the U.S. is trying to get Ukraine to sign 2 more additional documents, additional to the main framework agreement that the Ukrainians already said they're prepared to sign. Now, the Ukrainians might not necessarily be prepared to sign these 2 additional documents to the agreement, because they said that their parliament still has to ratify the fund. So it's willing to sign this framework agreement and the 2 additional ones later. So given all of that, Phil, it is not impossible that we find out that if the deal is going to be signed when the deal is actually being signed.
All right, yeah, I heard you mention there a joint investment fund as part of this deal. What else do we know about what's in it?
Okay, so this is a deal that is meant to set up a joint investment fund between the U.S. and Ukraine that would see them jointly develop Ukraine's natural resources sector, its minerals sector, and the U.S. will then invest to help Ukraine with its reconstruction. You reminded our viewers earlier that there was actually an earlier version of this deal that was not signed because of that acrimonious meeting between Volodymyr Zelensky and President Donald Trump in February. Now, there have been a few twists and turns, a few more drafts since then, but those drafts, many people are saying, would have given Ukraine very little and forced Ukraine to pay back the U.S. for the assistance that it already gave Ukraine through the course of the war. But now we have a version with terms that appear more favorable to Ukraine, with the Prime Minister of Ukraine saying that it is an equal partnership, that it will last for 10 years, that basically Ukraine will give 50% of the revenues that it has from new natural resource permits, and whatever the U.S. now gives to Ukraine will count towards its contribution in that fund.
Okay, thanks for that, Janelle. Janelle Dumalaon in Washington.